Here.
Here.
Councilperson Robinson.
Present.
Mayor Hampton.
Here.
And the attorney Bishop.
This time, we're gonna have the bills over 1,000. Financial statement go along with that. All right.
Bills over $1,000. We got fabric clean for chemicals, $1,274.27. Leather and Lab Company for testing, $1,372. Driver and Motor Company for work on the police car was $1,506.08. Supply County for the bookkeeping service was $1,908. Get rid of for the commercial garbage is $6,472. And get rid of it for the residential garbage is $15,067. For a total of $31,912.35.
I know Scott Petroleum is still up.
It's $4,113. Just gathering and making $22. But it's total $4,313.
They dropped it out.
If you look at your financial statements for the month of February, the general fund. The general funds took in $111,813.45. Had operating expenses of $111,951.63 for $138.18 loss. Back to your street funds. Street funds took in $21,965.76. Net expenses of $17,496.35 for a $4,469.41 profit. Next will be your water funds. They took in $28,145.54. You had cash operating expenses of $18,074.38 for an operating income of $10,071.16. If you had a depreciation expense of $4,026.59 for a net income of $6,044.57. And last is your water fund, or your sewer fund.
You want to do this, that's what.
Sewer funds took in $47,979.16. You had cash operating expenses of $43,334.83 for an operating income of $4,644.33. You had depreciation of $7,027.75 for a net loss of $2,383.42.
2,300 and,
83.42.
okay, and the actuality, the loss is what?
The cash income was $4,644. We had a profit
Profit.
before depreciation.
All right, that's my. You had, the minutes here since yesterday. Chance to read?
Yes.
All right. So now, what is your pleasure?
I motion that bills over $1,000, the minutes, financial statement be accepted.
Been moved and properly second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All right, ayes have it, motion carries. time, we're gonna hear from, Ms. Jody Lane from Dermott Nursing Home.
Okay, census as of today is 68. We, recently went through our annual survey. They came in on February 23rd and exited on the 27th. This was our second federal oversight survey, which is what, when a federal will actually come in and observe the state surveyors doing their job. The last one we had was back in '07, where we received 49 deficiencies. Yes, it's awful. This last one, we have not received the final report. It should be here before Friday, but when they exited, it looks like it's gonna be less than 12. So that's huge. The girls did a great job. They're doing a great job. We have made application for a new 8-passenger van. I think the match on our part is gonna be right at 9,000, but it's something that we could desperately use at this point. Other than that, the financials for January are not quite prepared. There's some adjustments that are getting made, so they're not available at this time.
Any questions?
Yes. My main concern on this, letter here where, she's going to turn in her resignation, and I understood last month that she said that she accepted it. And, is she back to work?
I'm not gonna discuss personnel matters in a public.
Well, I'm going to discuss this because I'm not gonna have this any other way. That young lady that was released down there at nursing home, I want her back to work tomorrow. And I will put it in form of a motion, and I think the council will verify and go along with me. I want her back to work tomorrow, and I want her paid retroactive. And Mayor, you can put that in the form of a vote if you like.
All right. All right,
I move
okay.
that she be put back to work tomorrow with retroactive pay.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. All those in favor, let me see a show of hands.
Mr. Mayor, I request a roll call vote.
Okay, roll call.
Councilperson Brown,
Roll call.
Councilperson Jordan,
Yes.
Councilperson Astros. Yes. Councilperson Stevens. Yes. Councilperson Hargrave.
Yes.
Councilperson Robinson.
All right, the motion is carried. Any question?
Yes, I did. I just wanted to, ask if we are saying that she needs to be back in her position.
Well, that's up to them what position they put her in and where she go. But we've had a wrong here, we need to make it right. I want her back on her job. How long was that lady at the nursing home? How many years?
I can't say for certain.
What did she got, 12, 13?
13.
13 years? And we have a wrong here, it needs to be more.
But Rev, I think we done voted now, so it's gonna have to be set right. It's gonna be, charged with insubordination. Thank you, Ms. Shelley. You got something there?
A charge of insubordination.
Yes, ma'am, but she don't go back to work.
I do. So even though the board made a decision, who are my direct supervisors,
Let me ask you a question. When you accepted Brenda's resignation, did you advertise the job?
Yes.
Where did you
It was
advertise
posted-
it?
It was posted at the facility.
Okay, it was posted in the nursing home.
Mhm.
How many certified dietitian in the nursing home?
To apply.
Well, if you were gonna post a job, why didn't you do it in the newspaper?
We
But
posted.
you posted it in the nursing home because you know nobody else there qualified.
No, sir, I posted it in the nursing home because our policy is to post it in the nursing home.
True.
But look, Real, we don't have to go into all that. We done our decision, and that decision is standing. All right, you excuse.
So I don't get an answer about the board.
At this time, we're gonna have for Ms. Angela Courtney. Ms. Courtney and I attended a meeting with the Arkansas Highway Transportation Department on January the 22nd. And we have decided to apply for a grant from them, and Ms. Courtney will explain.
Good evening, everyone. The funding that we are seeking from the Department of Transportation is through the Transportation Alternatives Program. And this funding allows for infrastructure improvements such as sidewalks. So specifically, we're looking at the Safe Routes to School program. We've had about 100 or so, India helped me with this distribution of the surveys. We had about 100 or so surveys distributed to parents at parent-teacher meetings at the elementary school and at the high school last month. And we had overwhelming response that was positive, that the parents and the community would like to see sidewalks. The mayor and I looked at possible venues and the route for the students to travel. And it was decided by the mayor, and I believe the community gave input, that a good possible proposed Safe Routes to School route could be from the Bellevue Terrace area to West Ash Street, where there will be like a pathway coming from the open space that is between Strickland Funeral Home and Bellevue Terrace. And then from West Ash Street, it would take the sidewalks across the railroad track to North Main and into Speedway near the railroad track that's owned by Union Pacific to the school. The transportation funding is up to $500,000. However, it's based on the engineer's report. So we're waiting on the engineer from Greenville. Mr. Jim Canantella was down last week, and he assessed the area for the Safe Routes to School project. There is possibly the information should be available next week, so we can make that available to the city at that time. The grant is due at the end of this month, so we look forward to submitting that with the approval of the council. And in doing so, we must have a resolution passed by the council, and we do have that with us tonight for the council's review. I will read that shortly. A little background information on Safe Routes to School. There are 4 components of Safe Routes to School, which includes the education component, which we must work with the school, and we have submitted a letter of support to the superintendent, and I believe she's going to present that to the school board. Andy is here, maybe they have received it already. Andy Brennan, do you know if you received the support letter from the superintendent?
I haven't, but we're having a meeting this week.
Okay, thank you. The other component to the Safe Routes to School is including the engineering, and that's what we had last week, the engineer come in to look at the actual route. Enforcement is another component. We work with the city police department. We've asked the chief to provide the crime data for this area, particularly in the route where the students in the community will be walking. The sidewalk should be about 5 feet wide, so it could include like a multi-use, which means bicycles could be a part of that as well, jogging. It will be ADA compliant so that people in wheelchairs can also use that. And the other component to the Safe Routes to School grant is the environment. So one of the things that is important to note is that the community, I read in the paper last week, is really pushing having a healthy community, and this is one way to utilize the Healthy Community Initiative, because you're actually driving less, kids are walking more, you're getting exercise, and it's also connecting one point of a community to the next, where the kids live in the Bellevue Terrace in the other apartments and taking it to the school. So we do have, the resolution, and we do have a map that I can pass out for the council to review of the routes. And it outlines the area where the route would take place. For the areas where there isn't any sidewalks, we will have the construction to pick up. So from, I believe the West Ash Street, there aren't any sidewalks there. And then picking up on North, I believe that's, North Main Street, where there are sidewalks. What the proposal will do is include the expansion or improvements of those sidewalks. We were lucky to have Larry Westmoreland donate the land where we will have a pathway coming from Bellevue Terrace to West Ash Street so the kids can walk across that area. So what we must do in order to move forward, we've begun the process, but in order to move forward in submitting the application, we ask that the council approve the resolution which states that a resolution of support and administration from the city of Dermott to utilize Transportation Alternatives Program federal aid funding. Whereas the Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department has issued a call for the Transportation Alternatives Program application. And whereas upon submitting a Transportation Alternatives Program application, a resolution is required showing support and administration from the city of Dermott. And whereas the city of Dermott understands federal aid TAP funds are available at 80% federal participation and 20% local match. The local match of 20%, we have identified a funder in Little Rock. The Blue and You Foundation has awarded grants in this area, in Lake Village, I believe in Monticello as well, for recreational trails, for obesity reduction, anything that involves healthy lifestyle activity. So this would be aligned with the city's application. Whereas the city understands that federal aid funds are available for this project on a reimbursable basis, requiring work to be accomplished and proof of payment prior to actual monetary reimbursement. And whereas the city of Dermott believes that the health and safety of our children and community are the highest concern to the citizens of Dermott, being able to walk or bicycle to school along with safe routes offers an opportunity to build healthy physical activity into daily routine and arrive at a school, work, or play safely. And whereas the city of Dermott will be the lead entity in the partnership with the Dermott Public School and will obtain funding of 20% from a foundation or other source for the TAP match. And whereas the lead entity will staff, support, and administer the TAP application and implementation. And whereas this project using federal funding will be open and available for use by the general public and maintained by the applicant for the life of this project. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the council of the city of Dermott that the city of Dermott will participate in accordance with its designated responsibility, including maintenance of this project. The mayor of the city of Dermott or his designated representative is hereby authorized and directed to execute all appropriate agreements and contracts necessary to expedite the construction of the above stated project. And finally, the city of Dermott pledges its full support and hereby authorizes the Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department to initiate action to implement this project. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
I so move.
Second.
It's moved and proper second. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon. Well, I only have a very few things to say. First of all, I want to say that, I think you got a group that's gonna work for the benefit of this town. You know I am, because that's the only reason I ran, to try to revitalize Dermott. So I think everyone is on board, and we're gonna go with that. The other thing I have to say is that on March the 23rd at 6, I'm gonna give the state of the city's address. Not gonna be very long, so you come and stay a few minutes if you wanna hear about us financially, plans, and then future development. March 23rd,
What time?
6 o'clock. Now, this report is required by law, have 90 days to give it from the time that I was elected, sworn in. So I put it on the 23rd, so that will keep you within that date. Any questions?
On what issue? On this issue?
Because I was talking to the city council.
Oh, it's on time.
Yeah.
Here, I can talk to
Yeah,
them.
okay. But now, let me say here. Courtney got rid of the old business. All right. Now, do we have any, report from the ward? Any at all? Yeah. Not at all.
Well, in Ward One, myself and Curtis, we was going around our ward and we was looking around and we want to try to get something together and try to clean up the wards. Like some of the sidewalks is, they're not sidewalks
No.
anymore.
Yeah.
So we want to get some people together in our wards and we want to just reach out and kind of start working, do something in the wards.
And man, I opened my area back in February to trim the trees. And he stacked all the branches out all along, and they hadn't even picked up yet.
Are they still like that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I get them right on that.
In my ward, we have a serious issue with drainage, and I just would like to know what we can do to rectify the situation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas.
Yeah, well, anyway, as a matter of fact, the same engineer that came down to do the sidewalks, I invited him to look at our drainage problem.
Yeah, the main drain is.
Yeah,
It's a funnel call that's the main drain.
yeah. Well, you know, all of this side, and then some of that side, you know, the drainage is bad. So now, I've already contacted, Pine Bluff, and they're gonna help me put together a grant for drainage. And, it is due, I think, when that due? According to next month, first of April? First of May?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we'll be getting that in, but we gonna have to do it in increments. Cause they only give $200,000. So we're gonna do phase 1 this year, phase 2 the next year, phase 3 the next year, because it's probably gonna take about 4 phases to complete it. All right? But we got that on the table. I was gonna discuss that at the meeting, but, already made contact for that. All right?
And also, Mayor, I don't know who ward this is, I was just over here on Elmer Cross. At the end of Elmer Cross. Those streets, I don't know,
Closed in.
grant or something, those streets are so cool.
And then too, some places, in some places, we don't need a grant. Some places, the dirt and the weeds has closed in the streets, what you call canals. We have, that backhoe with that front end load on it.
Yeah.
There's no reason the city worker can't go and scrape that dirt off of those streets, and I've been preaching that for 3 years.
Okay?
And I mean, the dirt has come out in the streets, and weeds are growing in the street, all you have to do is take the backhoe and the scoop and scrape the streets up.
Like lettuce roll or something, put some gravel in or something, hold.
Pothole, yeah. Well, I'm looking at a machine that, that will put tar in those holes and then come with rocks and then it'll seal. So I'm looking at a machine like that. I know the Lone Oak County Department has a machine like that. I saw it work, and I'm going to Lone Oak to look at it to see, because we got plenty of potholes and all of them need filling. You know, people busting tires. And then this Midland Railroad, they got this thing down here.
We need to go.
Yeah. Well, I got to go Little Rock tomorrow, but when I get back, cause I stopped them when they was doing that. I pulled up, I said, now when y'all gonna put the asphalt across? We coming back to do it. Yeah, they
And
put
now the
rocks.
rocks has been beat off.
Yeah.
And one day I used to go around and I went across in my car and it was touching, I was just really
Yeah,
afraid to move.
yeah.
You know, we buy cars from the same motor house that people buy theirs from, and we don't want them to look.
Well, I would like to encourage each of the wards to try to at least have a meeting. It'll be about 35 or 40 minutes at some designated, you can meet in here if you want before council meeting, so they can express some of these things. And then you'll be able to bring some to the body. All right? Well, now it's, do we have any zoning?
Me and River will have like permission to move a mobile home into Dermott.
Where's that over?
Right here, we have called him, he said he's coming and he never did come.
Did you get any feedback from the zoning committee yet?
No more than he'll be here, that's it. That's it, but I called him and talked to him, and we put all the paperwork in on time, so.
Yeah, it's the time schedule, you know, for them to bring it here. We need to okay it before we get there.
Did Theodore, did the zoning committee okay it?
Well, we want permission if he approves it.
Where's this at?
Which one?
On, 305 West Bridge,
What is it, a mobile home?
16 by 8.
You have pictures of it?
Well, they in her office.
Can you get those?
So she already talked to him? Oh, so she already talked to
And
him?
then Mr. Brown was already okay, but he's not.
Oh, he's not here.
And the time is running
And the
out.
time is running out.
When is your time?
45 days, and it's already a month today.
So you got about 15 days.
And we won't have another meeting.
No, no. What about? Days of the 23rd, man. Not 15th. 23rd. You wanna go through it now? Okay.
She should have the whole folder in there. Did he get,
You know if he approved it already?
what's all
He
the
didn't look at it, but that's all our information.
Was
All
all the
stuff is there.
signatures gathered?
All the stuff is there, but he hadn't made it to look at it. He hadn't looked at it?
Yeah.
Where is this mobile home located at now?
North Little Rock.
Careful. Wendy. Keisha. Let me ask you. Has all the signatures of the people around her been gathered?
Was that everybody? Yeah, all the ones that signed on there is the ones that's
You
around
don't have the
her.
whole application, do you?
That's everything right there.
Oh, okay. I see the notice here, but I don't see the petition.
The signatures.
The signature.
You want, the signatures is not with it?
Oh, okay.
We got it.
Okay. It looks like everything is in order.
Thank you.
You want to pass it?
Yeah.
I move that you pass it.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, I have to have a motion to carry. But now it's time for public comment. Yes, sir.
Thank you, good evening, the comment I was intending to make, when I spoke was of course, you know, that will there be, bus stops along the sidewalk route where the bus come pick up children when it rain or they stand. Is that money in there included
For the bus
for
stop?
bus stops? Is that part of it?
Well,
Can it be part of it?
I'm not sure. I would have to inquire about that. Is that something that the city would like to see?
Yeah, I think it's well needed because when it rains, children are either wet or the bus has to wait for them to come to the bus stop. A city plan. I'm very curious because Dermott has never had a plan of operation. Is the city scheduling a city to form a city plan of what the city wants to do in the future? You know, to work toward, or are we going right back on the tax and scheme system that we had? That's a question. Just before the answers one, but I would like to know for my personal.
Anybody want to address that?
I think that's what we're doing now. If we just address, decide, well, that's part of it, because that's a good thing, because we can always find the negative, but we never look for the
But I want this ain't, I'm asking the
So
question.
you ask,
No,
let me
I-
speak for me, just let me speak for me.
But talk on the city plan.
Okay, what I'm trying to get to. That's what we're doing, that's what the sidewalks are, that's what we just got to talk about the streets, all that's problem. All that's problem, this, we talking about something that's gonna take time, like,
Yeah, what the thing is, let's cut it short.
Yeah.
I got a city plan.
Okay,
Well, that's all I want to know.
All
What's
right.
your plan for the city?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There was a lady that came to the city prior, before, and said that they were getting ready to correct addresses throughout the city of Dermott, where Dermott city name, Dermott house address. It was requested that this lady be brought before the council. It never happened. So, will we ever get a chance for this young lady to come back and present to the council, the city, what I talked to Council Hargrave, I talked to Council Robinson about this issue, I might have talked to Council Jordan about it. But that's going to happen because the streets are misnamed, the addresses are out of sync. And for 911 purposes, that's what was going to be done in the county of Chico, and Dermott is scheduled. But none of the people know about this that's going to happen. So I would like this young lady to be brought.
I was scheduled to go to that 911 meeting they was having, but, they canceled the meeting when we had the ice the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
It was already set in motion.
Yeah, she's coming
And, but the
back.
day she was coming, we had the ice.
They had the calendar.
Well, we
So
got to
she,
know.
yeah,
I'm just asking questions of things
she's
like
coming
that.
back, and you know, you're right, because I didn't know till she called me
Okay,
herself, but, I mean, when she rescheduled, we'll make sure the town knows,
okay.
try to get something out. for the
And to
town.
my council, you, we talked about block, ward captains and ward groups. Now that I've heard in this council, we will be getting on.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else have anything? Well, we gonna retire to executive session. We're coming out peaceful.
And up and down from far and near.
And I don't know if y'all know I'm looking at this, but I don't know about the decision we made on nursing. Did we have a right to do that? I need to go on record. I'm not sure about that. Did we have a right to do that?
Whether we had a right to do it or not, I feel like it's a moral issue.
I understand, but I just want to make sure we got
Yeah,
it
well,
right, and the way we do it.
yeah. Well, what I'm saying here is that, you have the right to voice your objection, so noted. All right? Could I get a motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
Oh, got something left? All right. Well, it's this.
Yes, sir.